So it's a bear market and VCs are no longer investing things. They're becoming more choosy. And as this article from the Defiant says, crypto founders are scrambling as the outlandish era of easy money ends. But one voice, one institute has been spending nonetheless. I'm of course talking about Andreesen Horowitz, and in this special edition of the Defiant Weekly, we'll be looking at some of the very key Web3 crypto and gaming specific projects they have been investing in and why they might be doing that. All of that coming up very shortly, because this is the Defiant. So right now, the common thread of everyone's argument on Twitter is to dunk on VCs and tell them that they are moral, immoral, or they shouldn't sell, or they shouldn't be investing. But, you know, what is that all about? So if we look at the Wu blockchain report here, $4.219 billion was invested in May, which is down 38.2% from April 2022, but up 97.8% from May 2021. It's that last statistic that is so interesting, because that period, May 2021, it felt like everything was just getting funded up the wazoo. We were in the middle of this crazy VC funding round, but there's more being invested now than there ever was back then. I feel like it's just being concentrated in fewer projects and not just scattergunned all over everything. Crunchbase is the place to find all the information here. Generally, if you want to know what's being funded, look in Crunchbase. So I noticed here that Andreesen Horowitz closed 20 deals in May. But what was really interesting about them is that so much of them were kind of focused on Web3 and gaming. So we picked out like a handful of these that seem to be kind of interesting and trying to understand what it is that they were doing here. We know the metaverse is a big story. We know that blockchain gaming is probably a big story, but what has been so interesting in the last kind of 12 months is to see how things have taken on this PFP mentality. NFTs now proven they are a thing that can exist and can create value in games. But what we're seeing now is, instead of it being sketchy teams that have no idea how to build a game, you're seeing some proper OGs come in who have legitimate credibility in the gaming space and have now found themselves refreshed by what Web3 has to offer. And it's these people that are getting funded. Do you know how much money you made in DeFi? Valk introduces Merlin, your institutional-grade DeFi portfolio tracker. Simply connect your wallets and access your net worth, yield earned, P&L, total debts, transaction fees for each of your historical positions in USD. From lending on Ava or Trader Joe to getting a full overview of your LP positions on Uniswap v3. Make smarter DeFi trading decisions with Merlin. Sign up now for early access before the public launch on July the 1st. Link in the description. In 2021, Ethereum traders lost over $200 million to malicious bots exploiting their trades. As DeFi continues to gain popularity, this number is expected to rise. Eden Network is a next-generation private transaction service for Ethereum, providing traders with MEV protection by submitting transactions directly to miners and away from the prying eyes of harmful bots. Using Eden Network for Ethereum transactions results in better and safer trades. Eden Network recently launched Eden Rocket RPC, which compiles some of Ethereum's fastest private transaction networks, resulting in 90% plus effective hash rate. This makes Eden Rocket RPC the fastest private transaction network available, protecting you from bots. Join the best and get started with Eden Network today and trade safer. Is your crypto sitting idle without earning you any passive income? On Nexo, you can maximize the value of your crypto in no time and earn rates of up to 17%. Their web platform and mobile app are super easy to use. You can buy crypto with your card instantly and start earning interest paid out daily. The Nexo exchange has over 300 market pairs. Every time you swap or buy crypto, you get up to 0.5% cashback that's automatically added to your wallet. If you want to finance buying a car or a trip to a faraway place, you can borrow cash by using your crypto or NFT as collateral. You don't lose your crypto, and you can get borrowing rates as low as 0% APR. Go to nexo.io and get started today. So what we can look at now is Crypto Fund 4, which was announced May 25th, 2022. Here's the article from Chris Dixon, and he says, since the advent of computing in the 1940s, there's been a major computing cycle every 10 to 15 years, including PCs in the 80s, the internet in the 90s, and mobile computing in the noughties. We think we are now entering the golden era of web3. That seems possibly to you right now overly bullish, particularly when things are so down. But as he says here, the golden era was 2009 and 2011 for mobile computing, when companies like Uber, Venmo, Snap, and Instagram were started. Golden eras are when legendary teams are formed, big ideas are hatched, and great products get built. So that gives you a sense of their thesis. Great founders, big ideas, leading to big products. And we're going to have a look at some of these and see if that holds up. What they're excited about is developments in web3 games, DeFi, decentralized social media, self-sovereign identity, layer 1 and layer 2 infrastructure. Okay, so what? Bridges, DAOs and governance, NFT communities, privacy. And then here's one, creator monetization. I think that's going to be such a big one. Regenerative finance and new applications of ZK proofs, decentralized content, and story creation, and many others. So, yeah, they're kind of spreading themselves pretty thin here, but it is pretty interesting to see just how much they're looking at this gaming and storytelling side of things as well. Now, I want to give a hat tip to Bankless. They had Mark Andreesen and Chris Dixon on, I think it was about a week ago. A really interesting conversation. If you don't know who Mark Andreesen is, go watch Valley of the Boom, a Nat Geo Discovery Channel. No, is it Nat? Yeah, it's Nat Geo TV show about the early days of the internet, specifically Netscape and how it took on Microsoft. Mark Andreesen was a core figure in there and is one of the OGs of the OGs of the OGs, has a lot of experience, a lot of interesting things to say, and this was a very interesting conversation. So let's get into the numbers. We're going to start with Azra Games. So I love Crunchbase. You can get all of the details about who was funding and how much they funded. I don't have the pro version, but this is enough for us to get started. So we can see Azra Games, total funding amount, 15 million. But what we do also get is a nice breakdown of the investors. Number of lead investors, 1, and it is, of course, Andreesen Horowitz. Jonathan Lai was the partner there specifically, and we'll come back to him in a bit. But we can also see Coinbase Ventures and Justin Kan, the founder of Twitch. Pretty good names there. Gabby D's on as well, if you know him from Yield Guild Games. So yeah, some big names there. And here is Azra. Play and earn. Not play to earn, but play and earn. I think we're going to have to get used to these different nomenclatures for different ways of playing and earning. So it's led by Mark Otero, former general manager of EA Capital Games, GM of BioWare, and CEO and co-founder of the highly successful gaming startup Click Nation. Yeah, I mean, his last game, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, grossed over $1 billion in revenue and remains EA's top mobile game for over 6 years. This is what I'm talking about. Proven founders, proven talent in the game space who are now coming into NFTs and NFT worlds. But it's not just him. You've got Sonny Mayugba, Travis Boudreau, David Scurfield. There's a kind of who's who list of serious gaming talent here. And, you know, they're not messing about here. So what else can we do here? They have a game. This is the game, Project Arcanus. It's a combat RPG set in a sci-fi fantasy world. There's going to be massive war machines and monstrosities. You can command legions. Basically a game that will just eat your time for the rest of time. And you're just going to have to deal with it. What else can we see? They have these PFPs, which they call Play Forever passes. This is the only way to get access to perpetual utility and exclusive rewards in every game we release. So this is an item that will be usable across any game that they publish. So great. So that's the Genesis collection. And here's kind of what they look like. Maybe the art's your thing, maybe it's not. We are dedicated to crafting the future of GameFi, they say, whatever that means. There's not a lot of meat on the bone here apart from that. So there's only one other thing that I picked out. Yes, at Azra Games, we have a rule, no mini games. So you'll see that a lot of other companies have set up these little mini games as a way of getting people started and getting them like a little taster of what's possible on the platform. They don't do that. We believe in taking the time to release quality experiences that fit together perfectly as a whole. And we also believe in crafting systems and economies that will provide value to both passive and active players for years to come. That also is a big thing. Like, you might be an active player, you might be a passive player, but if you're not an active player actively grinding, there might be ways for you to earn as well. So, yeah, they're speaking in a language that we understand. It seems like they have the nous to build it, but who knows? So the next one we're going to look at now is Metatheory. There's not a huge amount of detail about the Metatheory raise, but they raised 24 million, which is the biggest of any raises that we're going to look at. And yeah, that's a lot, actually. So this is Metatheory. You can wiggle this around. That's fun. And it says GM. So let's have a look. What is it about? Well, it's an interactive technology and entertainment company building web3 games, interactive content, social experiences, and other community-driven adventures. Metatheory's mission is to inspire imagination by connecting people worldwide through immersive worlds built on cross-generational IP. I don't know what that means. I really don't know what that means. But they are a fully remote team, and they have their first project, which is Dustbreakers. So we can go to the Dustbreakers website. Oh yeah, just before I go further, this is Kevin Lin. He's the co-founder of Metatheory and a co-founder of Twitch. So another Twitch human, that company spawning a whole bunch of secondary, new ventures, which are pretty interesting around the gaming space. This is a blog that they wrote about the build. So they're talking about the early success of Duskbreakers and how they set up a mini game. So this is where it gets interesting. Metatheory started with Kevin being reinvigorated by the possibilities of blockchain and his love for gaming. With a seed idea in mind, he began the quest of finding co-founders to bring the vision to life and added a fairly substantial and interesting team to all of that. They had a pretty interesting mini game as well, which is play to mint. So they had a kind of arcade, and then you could play that, and that would mint your NFTs for you. And these are the NFTs, the Dustbreakers. I'm not sure if I love the art here, but it's definitely got a vibe to it. Let's have a look. You can kind of get a sense of it a little bit manga-y, a little bit Pokemon-y in terms of the design and style. All good. What else did we have here? We've got a blog from the Andreesen Horowitz team. So Jonathan Lai, who I mentioned earlier, is talking about this. I'm talking about how specifically Kevin was both, they've known him for a long time, and he was a personal friend and advisor to A16Z, and he was the former COO of Twitch, helping shape modern games culture and digital communities. Okay, well, so far so good. I went in the Discord on Dustbreakers, and I mean, it's fine. It's fine. There's stuff happening. They've released a webcomic called Jolie's Journey, a Dustbreaker saga. And here it is. Okay. It's very big. The artwork looks nice. I'm not sure I love it, though. But still, it's a webcomic, and, you can read this and enjoy. Wait, but am I God? Well, I'm not terribly impressed by that webcomic. I've got to be honest. Yeah. If you compare it to something like Cyberbrokers, yeah, not so keen on that. But anyway, 24 million, they've clearly, been able to attract funding, and let's give them the benefit of the doubt and see whether they can get anywhere. The next one is StartPlaying. So this one, they only raised 6.6 million in this round. Not a huge amount of detail about the round, but if we go and have a look at what they do, it's basically a community for allowing anyone to find a games master for an RPG, like Dungeons and Dragons, that kind of thing. So it's not really my thing, Dungeons and Dragons, so I don't really know a huge amount about that, but you can hire people to be a dungeon master, to set up a game for you, and well, that's basically it. So you can see here, Josh, Brighthall Tavern, 15 years as a GM, 117 games hosted, and it'll cost you $45. Well, that's very nice. Be interesting to see how that one pans out. Irreverent Labs is the next one. This is a really interesting one. They've raised 45 million, so I was wrong. The 24 million from Metatheory was outstripped by this one. This is Irreverent Labs, and they develop artificially intelligent games with machine learning, engaging gameplay, and blockchain technology. They're starting to see more and more of this AI-equipped NFT technology coming to fruition now. Alethea AI is literally today, I think, about to release its Fusion platform. Been keeping a close eye on ASM, Altered State Machine, and the different ways that you can put brains into a football game or a car racing game or a boxing game to set up these AI-driven gaming worlds in which the AI can do the work for you and you can go, do your thing, but then earn rewards through that. So this is Irreverent Labs. They have their first game coming out, which is called Mecha Fight Club. They call themselves a world-class team with backgrounds in computer science, machine learning arts, game development, storytelling, and blockchain with one mission: creating games that will outlast any player and become worlds of their own. We believe in the power of player ownership and a play-to-earn economy to create the next stage in human play. So they are all about play-to-earn. Join us to create the future of entertainment. So, big words. Let's have a look at the Mecha Fight Club site itself. You can own a fighter in the MFC. It's kind of these birds, I think. There we go. These badass birds that fight, and then they can breed. And yeah, your mecha bot will be just like you, except you're made of goo and they're made of alien materials, too advanced for the human mind to understand. And there's going to be 41,000 of them. 41,000 unique super weapons. But yeah, there's no game yet. There is a roadmap down here. The Genesis, the hatchling, welcome to the cockpit. They've got some eggs, the coctagon when breeding. The thing that I thought was really entertaining about this is they say that it's going to be hysterical. The MFC world is filled with rich lore, hysterical fights, and unique technology. Your mechabot will start life as an egg before hatching into a unique bionic creature living entirely on the blockchain. So I guess there'll be arenas, and then I don't know. Maybe it would be an auto battler. Who knows how that will work out, but could be fun. They say the game release is going to be spring 2022. There is no sign of the game yet, so I guess they're behind on that. But they've attracted a huge amount of investment, and it's all about that AI. So the final one we're going to look at is LootRush. They've raised 12 million. And it's a web3 video game platform. So here is LootRush. They say crypto gaming for all. So here's the workflow on LootRush. You choose a game, create an account, select the game you want to play. You choose your NFTs, select the NFTs that best fit your gaming preference. I couldn't quite figure it out, but I think what's going on here is that they have a bunch of NFTs on the platform that you can then take or buy or rent, I guess it would be, and then start playing games with those. So you can then earn tokens through gameplay. So these are all play-to-earn games. But if you look at the games that are on there, we've got Gods Unchained, Thieves in Arena, Mir 4, CryptoKitties Z, So Rad, some OG games in here. Illuvium, Star Atlas. Oh, so ambitious, Star Atlas. Blancos. But none of these are available yet. The only one that's available right now is Axie. So it's kind of like a guild in a sense, but it's all going to run through the website, Crypto Gaming for All. And I'm imagining that you will also be able to rent out your NFTs as well. So you can change your NFTs whenever you want. You can purchase your own NFTs if you want to. You can list your NFTs to other players. So easy, no gamer management required. Have your NFTs earn tokens when you're not playing and know how much you will earn through listing. So yeah, that's basically what it is. It's a rental site for NFTs. And if you want to play the games, you can presumably access some great NFTs here, and then if you're not using them or you've bought them and you never intend on using them, you can supply them to the chain, or supply them to the platform, and then earn some money with that. So that gives you a sense of what A16Z is investing here, at least in the Web3 gaming space. And it seems pretty clear to me that blockchain games do have a future. Despite what all the naysayers are talking about, we covered why NFTs hate gamers in 2 very long and painful parts earlier in the year. So I do recommend you go and check that out. But things have definitely changed since then. The noise around NFTs has calmed down, but notably the development around NFTs, particularly with these high-powered teams, big names from Twitch and from computer science and other game worlds are coming in here. And we also have the news that Gala Games will have its portfolio published on the Epic Games platform. I just think this is going to go real fast, really, really fast. So that's why I'm going to spend more and more time investigating this, investigating the metaverse, how it all connects together, and really trying to understand where this next phase of NFT creation, community-owned IP, where it's all going to go, because I do think it's going to be fascinating. So that's it for this weekly. I do hope you found it interesting. I'll try and do more of these as these come out, because following the money is probably the best strategy for understanding where things are likely to grow for the next bull. That's all I'm going to say now. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.